Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? Welcome back to City Skylines. So we have got our lake over here. We've got the new big sort of canal type piece that is joining this river up here over to this lake and over to our lake over this side. The only problem that we've got is that the water level, it does appear, is actually lower than the water level that I want to maintain in here for our dam. Our dam is actually a fraction too high for all water sources in the map, apart from our stations that we've got in here. So we're going to need to change things around a little bit. Also, I was trying to get the pollution cleaned off of here. Several people have pointed out last week over and over again, because I have to record several days in advance. I've not been able to adjust this in-game yet, that this is going to stay polluted because I've got industry on here. I don't have other areas. So I'm just going to leave that like it is. It's going to stay as industry. It's going to stay as possible structure observed on the surface of Mars. All right. So, yeah, that'll stay as industry, and we'll just leave it as it is, doing whatever it's doing. Now, what are we going to do about the water? We've got all this water that's just kind of sat and not doing very much. I've got this one in here that is now joined all the way in there, but it's going to be too high, and the water is still going to be flowing from this lake, and it's going to be going out and down that river over there. If we... let's just speed time up. I'm going to completely ignore the people for now. The population has dropped a bit. We had a big death wave come through, but that's not going to stay for very long. Not enough fuel over here in the oil, and I don't really know why that is, because the trucks should be able to come off of the road here and into this area without any problem. There shouldn't be any issues about them arriving unless those trucks are trying to turn up from elsewhere on the map. If they're trying to turn up from elsewhere, they don't really have much of a hope. It's just not going to happen. The tailbacks are going to be blocking them completely, and it's generally just going to be bad all round. So this one's got a power output of 64 megawatts at the moment. We've got our mega city area over here, which is just generally going to be really bad. Absolutely choked with traffic. This is going to be awful. We're kind of abandoning that one. We've set it building, and then we're just going to abandon it. I have had a number of people suggest that maybe I should rename the zones. If I was to zone, I've only zoned one area at the moment. But if I rename the zones, then I'll be able to use my Great Book of Names for doing that as well. And that would actually be quite easy to see. So this is one thing that I am going to start doing. And I'm just getting my Book of Names here a minute. So we've got a couple of new people that have been added in. Well, there's one new person that's been added in at the moment, and by tomorrow there will be another couple of people on the list who have earned their place on the list through supporting me on Patreon, actually, which is absolutely amazing and wonderful. So this one right over here is Phil Bannister, someone who's been supporting me in the channel, in the chat, for quite some time, and I did overlook him. He's earned his place in there through many months of support on the channel. But I noticed a comment from him the other day. I thought he looks really familiar, and I went back through some of the older videos, and he has been there for a very long time. So Phil Bannister, the Phil Bannister Forestry, we'll call this, I think, actually. There we go. And so he has earned his place in the Great Book of Names. Phil Bannister Forestry over here. We'll leave that one going. So what are we going to do about this water? We've got all this water that's going through here, and if we go up to there and you have a look at this, you can see that we've got water that is running out of here, and it goes into this here. We've got a ridge across here to keep the lake separate for now, and then the water is running out this way, joining the river, and flowing off down there. This is not what I want. I don't want it to do this at all. So what I've done is I have installed a new mod, and it is the terrain tools. Now I think I can actually show you the mod. Options right here, mod settings. I've got extra landscaping tools is what it's called. Search that on the Steam workshop and you will get all of these extra options that you've got here. So we've got in the landscaping, there are some extra ones. We've got sand here. I've got ditch right there, which is a square. And then there's a few other ones as well. We've got tree placements and things like that. And then we've got these over on this side as well. So there's those extra bits there. I've got ground resources here. I can add in some ground resources. There's a few extra bits that I can do with it. Your brush options and strengths and so on. I haven't looked at very much of it. From what I can gather from just reading about the mod, what it's actually doing is just adding in a lot of the facilities that you've got in the map editor and putting them into the game. Which is brilliant. This is what I want. This is exactly what I want. And... oh, what was that? There's one thing I want to do a minute, and that is... have you noticed we've got an abandoned building? I was just thinking I want to turn off the notifications, but I don't necessarily want all of the notifications turned off. It may not be everything that I want to do. We'll leave the notifications for a minute. So anyway, what we've got right here, we've got move sea level, adjust the height of the sea level, and we've got place water source. Primary to place, secondary to remove, use the handle to adjust the water. You can see in the lake that we've got a water source set on the lake here. Now, the thing with this water source, and the thing with any water source in this game, is that it creates a point where the water will continually pour out of until it reaches that level. But what it will also do is it takes water in at that level. So this level here is higher than this level over here, which means that what we've got is that the water coming into this lake is going to keep flowing from that direction over to this direction, and it's never going to change. It's never going to grow. It's never going to fill the lake up. It's going to stop at that level. So there's... what I was trying to decide is how do I go about dealing with this? If I spin round a little bit, you can see we've got a water source over there. We've got one here in this lake, and we've also got one out over here. Now, if I raise the water level up a little bit, it can do some strange things on the rest of the map. It can do very peculiar things to how the water behaves and where it goes and how it can pool. So you do actually have to be really careful with this. Right, let's get rid of you a minute. You've got to be careful with it, because if you do it too much, there's a thing that comes up. Edge scrolling, in-game guide pop-ups, chirper, auto-open chirper... right, let's leave the chirper messages off for a little while. And dynamic weather. You know, should we use the day-night cycle? I'm going to leave the day-night cycle off for a while. But maybe it'll... we could try it a bit later. Right, in-game guide pop-ups. Some of them are useful, though. We'll leave them. We'll leave them off, because the constant dinging is starting to annoy me. Right. If I raise the water level too much, it does actually create random flooding off to the sides that even if the water isn't connected. So it's like sensitive. You've got to adjust this very, very carefully. Now, as far as I can see, we've only got 3 water sources on this map. We've got one up there, we've got one up there, and we've got one over there. Now, there doesn't look like there are any other water sources on this map. So there's no water source to sort of absorb the water. You can see down through the lake now and see where we had all those massive sinkholes. There's nothing down this way. This would be the sea level set down here. So I will ignore sea level. I'm not interested in that. But what I do want to do is alter a water source. Now, I can always add another water source up here somewhere so that we've got plenty of water for the pumps. But I was mainly just going to stick some more down here. So we don't need to worry about that. We don't need to worry about the water coming from those. So, do we raise the level of this lake and have that draining out? If we do that, we're going to have to be very careful about the landscaping around the side here. The other option, of course, is to raise the level of this one. And that might be something that we could do. So what I'd like to try and do is just click hold of that. But that doesn't work. I don't know how to do this. There we go. Right, if I click on... look, see? That's lifting everything right up, and it looks like it's causing absolute mayhem. If I go up that high... and then you come down here, and you can sort of see where it's going at the moment. And, you know, it's like roughly there. I'm going to try raising that water source up like that just to see what is going to happen. And you can already see how much it's flooding out, right? I think that we've already done too much there. We've done too much damage. And I think that is going to end up causing us quite a bit of trouble, especially down here. And we're going to end up sort of flooding large areas of the city. But the other thing that I was hoping to do is we could also landscape in some barriers, and then maybe, just maybe, it will actually work. There is another mod that I can get where we can unlock 81 tiles instead of just the tiles that we've got here, which is a load of extra, although I have been warned that that can produce quite a laggy game experience. So we're going to be very careful with that one, and we're not going to rush into anything with it. At the moment, we're just going to look at this one, and if you look over here, we can see that's like, so it does look like water is going to come out over here. We've got the game set on quite a high speed. Water capacity is right up to high on there. It looks like we may end up with flooding all the way around on this area up here. Now, if I do this, has it raised the other three? This is what I'm a bit concerned about, is I don't think it's raised the other three. I think the other three are going to be fine. I don't think they're going to have affected it in any way, shape, or form. Right? It doesn't look like we've got anything extra down here. It looks like the only one that's been affected is this one up here. And that one's... I got water over there now. I think it's just going to take a while for it to, like, get all the way through. Because I've got that wave there. But I don't think it's actually doing anything. It doesn't look like it's going where we want it to. So we've literally just got to wait for that one to come through and then see if it's going to end up being higher than the one we've got right now. I mean, we could just try altering this one here. So you mouse over it like that and then click, and then I can just raise it up like that. There. If I do that a minute. I'm going to leave it there a second. And then I'm going to just move down here. Actually, I want to... If I do it like that, I should be able to see a little bit better what I'm doing. Right. Oh, I see. That's the... I think that's the level that it comes out at. But that's not like the finish level. Because we've got the water as it runs away. It should also be able... like the river will carry the water away. It's only going to go out that far if the river is blocked, and it won't carry it out that far. So, like, although, saying that, this is already being filled up here. Right, we've already got the water level has gone up by quite a long way up there. Look at that. But it's flowing. The water is still flowing, so we may be alright with this. It may actually still work. And then it's going to keep coming down here. It's just going to have more water coming down here. This one up here has not changed at all at the moment, but it is now changing. You can see this. We've got the water source here. It's busy pumping out a load of water, so we've got the source up there, which means that down here, this is now starting to rise, which in turn is going to flood over this bit, and it's going to flood the surrounding landscapes. So what we're going to need to... If we can open this up a bit... I mean, the other option is to just, like, put the water source over here somewhere rather than up there, and then build a wall behind it. At the moment, we won't. If I can alter that bit up there, I might be able to also do some landscaping down this side. I know that some of you do want me to spend a little more time focused on the actual cities and doing some stuff in the city itself. At the moment... I will get back to that, but I sort of figure that this series, as it's here to stay for at least a while longer, we're going to sort of explore all our various... See how fast that has filled that lake up. That is insane. Okay, that is quite impressive, the speed that has filled that lake up to this new level. We're going to have to be very, very careful now, because that has gone up extremely fast. And I think it's going to end up causing us some problems. So we're going to go to that one there. And Our new brush size up here is there, so I want to go... That's our brushes here. Do terrain. I got various brush sizes here. And then if I go with that one there, I could... Okay, that is very... That's brush strength. Let's put the brush strength down a bit, shall we? That's a bit better. But that's still... That's way too much. Okay, so I need to go to the level terrain option rather than doing that, because that is just insane. So if I right-click on there... There we go. That at least is just going to make life a little bit better for us, but still. That's not quite what I wanted to do. I'm going to remove all of this now. I'm going to remove that bit out to there. And I'm also removing it underneath the bit of landscape that we've got there. So this is going to bring in a little bit of city flooding. I'm also going to remove this one, because I suspect we're going to need any sort of runoff options that we can get at this point. It's going to be quite important that we have runoff options. So now if I right-click there, I can drop the level of that down. Over here, like this. We don't have to... The downside of this mod that I've got is that we don't have the cost associated with it anymore. I mean, I got loads of cash now, so it's not really like a major thing. But at the same time, I kind of like the idea. I do like having to pay for all of the work that we do, right? It just kind of makes it feel a little bit more realistic. This is really filled up now, and this one here has reached a point where, well, we've got waves going everywhere up here. I got a load of water here that is flooded out over the sides. That's a little bit of an issue. We got water over here that's flooding out over the sides. We're going to wait for the water now to find a new equilibrium. And is it going to even be able to do that? I know that we got like a bit of a flood just running down here at the moment. This lake, this river over here, actually that's doing, at the moment that's doing all right. It is dangerously high. The level of that river now is very extremely dangerously high, and it's not really what we'd want. But it's still going. It's actually, the water is running away. It's doing what we want it to do. The water up here on this side, I'm not really sure why that's all flowing away the way it is, because I haven't touched that. I haven't altered that in the slightest. But it does seem to be doing something. I'm not quite sure why that's being altered and moved around. Then we've got new flooding down here, but I think this is just one wave. And that was caused by our first playing around with this bit over here. Once this is settled back down again, it should then start flowing in the right direction. And hopefully this is also going to start flowing in this direction. We may have to do some more alterations. I can do more alterations. I don't mind that. That's the other bit there. We've got the last of the wave here coming through. And then that shouldn't be any more of a problem. As long as that there. I don't know if that's going to be the new height or not. This one may have been a mistake. We may have to block that one back over again. Because we got some serious flooding going there with the... See, the monorail's now gone completely underwater. I'm actually really liking this. Now, this bit up here, this is kind of reaching its balance, which means that we're going to have to redo the railway here, because that's going underwater. That's also going underwater there. We don't need to worry about that. That's not going underwater, and neither is that over there. So that's working well. This bit up here is still flowing in the wrong direction. Yeah. As is this here. It's all going down it's all going down this river here at the moment and coming across there, and that's pushing out into this one, which is in turn going to cause major flooding here, and that is going to go in and that is going to wipe out a big chunk of this one over here. I reckon we're about to see some very serious flooding coming across here. That's going to pour in across, and I don't think there's going to be very much that's going to stop this. So we're going to let this play out for a minute. see where it goes, and then I'll alter it back again. I'll put that block back in. We'll cover that bit back over again so that this lake just has that point there that it can go out. And I still think it's not going to be high enough. I think we're going to have to do more work on here. You know, the new brushes are a little bit more sensitive, so we could have a little bit of fun with that. We'll wait and see. This seems to be absolutely fine. That's still flowing through. We've got water going through there. 90,000 people. So the situation with people is not too bad. It looks like that was just a small wave that came through and is now drying out. This here seems to be drying out for the most part. We do have a tunnel that's underwater, which means that this area here is currently cut off. Although that little bit of water there flowing through has now stopped and is reaching a balance. The train is too low. The water there is too... Oh, no, no, no. Balance. It's still... Ah. I said that we've reached a balance, but it does take quite a while for the water to reach its own balance, doesn't it? It does take quite a while for the simulation on the water to run, and you've got to let it run. It does take a little bit of sort of the waves going backwards and forwards in order for them to be able to find the point where they actually need to be. And it looks like the point that this actually needs to be is quite a bit different to what we originally thought it might have been. So we've got a new wave coming through there. That's now stopping and it's not coming into this bit. We've got a little bit of flooding that we had there. But that's going to dry out, I think. And I don't think we're going to have any problems. This is drying out... Well, it sort of seems to be drying out, but I mean, all of this is underwater at the moment, so that is causing us some serious issues. And that seems to be the main drain on the lake, so the lake itself isn't rising high enough, and it's still draining this one up here. Which I didn't want. That was the one bit that we didn't actually want to do. We want the water from here to go along the channel this way, and into this lake, but we don't want so much of it coming down here. And this has gotten much more severe. So all of this is now starting to go underwater, which means that the flood is going to come further out this way. It's coming across there, which is going to head into the forestry area. So the Phil Bannister forestry area is going to end up being more severely flooded. Okay, this is actually looking bad. This is actually looking really bad now. We've got some serious problems. Major problems. Water's still flowing that way. Still flowing this way. Right. I don't think it's going to do what I was hoping it was going to do. The flooding issue means that we're going to have to reroute quite a few of these roads and railways. That bit I'm not worried about. And I'm also quite happy to build some higher banks all along the sides here. But I do think that, first of all, we want to build a bank here and block that one up. That's going to be our first task. There we go. Right, so we've let this simulation run for quite a while now. Get rid of you a minute. And brush strength. We're going to put that all the way down to about 0.04. So I want to we'll set the brush size down a little bit as well. There we go. I'm going to set the height of this one to about there. And then we're going to bring that's much better. We want this to run slow on the simulation. We don't want this to just sort of do insane stuff. So I'll bring this up like that. There, and I'll fill that in as well. There we go. Run it through there, and I'm going to set that higher still. I'm going to set the bank all the way up to there, so that we can pull that one out. And just ease it across there. Like that. It's not perfect. It's not quite as good as the terrain tool that we did have, I don't think. But overall, I still think this is pretty good. That does the job that we need it to do. Okay. So we've now got a bank up there, and that one's set quite high as well. So that should stop the water down here, which should in turn ease up all the flooding that is occurring over here, and ease up a lot of the other flooding over this side. Well, it's probably not going to make much difference to this over this side. So what we want to do is we want to start now bringing some of this up a bit. So I want to set that there and just try and get some natural looking bank in. And one good thing with this mod is that it does allow you to build further out. Look, see? It says, yes, it does. Okay, I can build further out. And that's actually a really good thing. So I can just bring this along here like this. There. And that's going to stop the water from flowing out onto that side. This is what I'd like. We're going to build an earthenworks bank all along here. And like I said, the only thing I'm disappointed about with this one is that it's not costing us any money. And I also don't know what the rest of these are. I'm guessing that some of those are like rocks and stuff like that. And we can at least undo some terrain modifications. And we've got a massive area of flooding that has gone in there, which is not really what we want. The train here, I'm going to redirect that. If I bring this up like that. There. I don't know if I do need... Yeah, I will. Okay, let's go to that transport a minute, and we will redirect that train track there. So instead of it coming along here, I want to bring this one out this way. I'm going to take that bendy one. I'm also going to just delete the track to that point there. And then we'll take the bendy. And this is going to come out there and come off this way like this. And it's going to go up around this side here. Get to there. Right, I'm going to stop it there a minute. Get rid of that. Now I'm going to go back into here, and I'm going to delete all of this. Like this. Right, now we go up through and delete all of that track there. So then what we can do is we'll be able to rebuild that there. We'll be able to bring that back up to the correct height that I want it to be. We've got a load of train track down here that also needs to be rebuilt. So that's got to come out, as well as these bits here. Both of these bridges here, that all needs to be redone. As does... Well, no, the monorail, I'm going to leave that monorail there. Although this monorail bit in here, this bit I am going to redo. And... I'm thinking, right, the rest of that is going to be pretty good as it is. This road is also going to have to be redone. So I'll bring that back up there. And redo that. As well as the bridge. Right the way over to there. Okay. So there's a big area there that we've now buried and removed. We'll go back into the transport a minute, and we'll take the train there. That one's going to come out like that. And it's going to go along the top of this bank up here. It's going to go to that point there a minute, and then I'm going to stop. And I'm also going to delete this back here, just to there. Then we're going to go back to the terrain tool. I'm leaving this deliberately on the fast speed because I figure it's probably better to do that. We'll then have markers that we can come back to later on. So now I can put that back in. And then I can fill this in like this. Right the way across there. And I've got a pretty good height that I can work to. So I can bring that up there. And that's also, what this is doing is this is also raising the height of the town and the stuff around this monorail as well. So up on that side of the monorail, this is going to stop the water there. We got the water that's going into this area, and I might just leave that so long as this bit here is high enough to keep it all out of the water. I'll bring that in like that. I'm hoping that's not going to be flooded. This flooding here will be cleaned up and cleared away. We'll rebuild this piece on this side like this. There. Bring all of that out as well. There we go. And then that can sort of be brought back over. On this side, I'll do a little bit, and I'm just going to fill that up a little bit, but not by very much. I don't want to alter that very much, actually. And then we can bring that round. Okay, this is good. I like this. I like the look that we've got going here, and I think this is going to work fairly well. So then we can go back to our trains, and we will take that train track there, and that one's going to go straight onto there like that. And then this one here is going to come out of there, and it's going to join into there like that. Okay. Next, I need to switch to the monorail, which is that one, and take you, join you on there, like that. Bring you across there, and then I need to bring you over to that point there. So before I do that, I need to delete that railway bridge there. Then I can go to the monorail, and you will come out. You will join straight onto there. Right, now the monorail is back in position where it should be. The only thing we've got at the moment is a little bit of flooding down here. That's going to actually fairly quickly be remedied, because this area here should be pumped out. We should get the pump lorries come in and clean that bit up. They're already able to drive through here, so it's not, the flooding on it isn't too bad. And I think what it's going to result in is this is going to, it'll end up being alright. Look, see, the flooding's already gone on there, so I don't need to worry about that at all. So let me now go to the trains, and we want to go back to, now how did I have this before? I had one train coming out of here, which is going to come out that direction like that, and that'll go over the top there, and then join into there like that. So that we've got trains that can go from this direction, they can go into there, they can come round up that way, they can come round and they can come back. Do I want to have, I can't remember now, I think I did actually. I think I took a track that went straight out of there and went this way and then joined in around there, but I can't go underneath that bit there. So what I need to do this time is I need to bring it from there, and I need to do that, come out at like 45 degrees, and then join it up there. That's a very steep track to join up there, but it does do it. And I think that will sort of cover all eventualities with the trains. So that's that bit, and we've got the monorail is now back up and running as well, and has even got monorails using it. And the trains are going back round that way. Okay, so that's all working now, as intended. So the only other thing that we've got to do is get the road back up and running again, which is that one there. So I need to take you, and then bring you out this way, at 180, and then all I got to do is that. I just want to join that in pretty much a dead straight line across, and I'll do the same with this one here. Nope, I didn't actually want to do that. There. I thought I was using that one. Maybe I wasn't. Right, I'll bring that one up there and join onto that like that. So we've got the road back as well, and that road, I don't think the road is actually any higher. I think the road is now down a little bit lower, but they're all in there. That's all running, and it's all joined together. We've got the water is at the right levels all the way through. That's pretty good. And we've got water up here. So the dam at the moment is producing 240 megawatts. The water is still flowing from the lake into this lake here. And it is flowing, which direction? It looks like it's actually coming from the river into here. Let's just take a look at the directional flow. That's more like it. We've now got water going from this river along that canal there that we built, our artificial canal, and into this lake. And it's also coming from this lake in this way, which is not what we want. So the water source in the lake itself is still not high enough. The problem with making that higher is that this one over here also needs to be higher. So we've literally got two options now. We can build this up higher and then rebuild that along that side, or, and that's going to potentially cause a lot of flooding down here. We could have some more serious issues with this, so we're going to have to do a load more work on building up the banks of the rivers all the way around. I mean, we could just stay up in here, raise this one up, block that off, and just have this source coming through the lake here and out over the dam. That would also work. That is another option. At the moment, I'm not quite sure. I'm going to get back to both of those next time. I'm not going to do any more adjustments on that today. There are other things that I want to do. We're going to go actually do something in our city as well. Because, I mean, this does seem to be working. We're going to have a look. This area here, this city here, this is going to be one that is generally ignored. I'm not going to do very much in this one. It's, yeah. You know, we got a lot of sickness over here.
Warning.
Ooh.
Experts predict an earthquake could hit the area soon.
Intensity of 3.5. Now ooh, where's it going to be? Okay. We've got one little bit in here.
An earthquake is occurring. Don't panic and wait for help if you are in the affected area.
Awesome. Just awesome. I love the fact that we have earthquakes, that they come through and they destroy big buildings and all sorts. So what else is it doing? We've got buildings on fire over here. We've had another building. Oh, no, we had that one collapse. There. Home of the stuff store. Medical helicopter depot. No road access. Okay, that's a problem for us. So we need to go to roads, and we need to go to the upgrade option right there so that we can repair that one. And we can repair that one. And then I think we've also got... No, we don't have any more that need to be repaired. None of those to be repaired. So then what we'll do is we need to go to the road. I need the 6-lane road, which is... Actually, we've got that one there. And I don't want to upgrade. I just want to go to there. Bring that out in front. And join that straight onto there like that. So that'll just fix those up. So now we've got this one is back in action. And then we've got some stuff that has disappeared into the ground here. We've got that one right there as a collapsed building. I'm going to leave that one so that they'll come along and, you know, we'll let the bulldozers come through and we'll, they can deal with that. The only thing I will do a minute is I will use some landscaping to repair this. No, actually, I'm not going to. I'm going to leave that. I'm going to go here. And I am going to put the high-rise stuff in here like this. So that they'll come in and build. But then in order to make up for this lost area here, I'm going to put in a little bit of commercial on that side. We'll go to residential on that side there. And then we'll leave it like that. So they'll rebuild. And we've just got this little sort of unsightly gash in the countryside on that bit there. I think that's going to work all right. So it's not like going to be a major thing, but it is going to be a bit of a thing. Now, how are we doing with the water? So, by having that dammed up there, it's actually making all of this flow a little bit better. We've also raised the dams all the way along the edge. We've got... And this is how actual flood works. The flood defenses, they actually do this on rivers. They have these banks up really high all the way round. And it literally, it barely helps against the flooding. But what it does do is it creates its own problems. And this is one of the things, I believe the Mississippi suffers from this quite a bit. Because the silt gets deposited in the river, they got to raise the defenses of the river. Because if they don't, it floods. And so they raise it higher and higher. And the bottom of the river actually is lifted. And so there are stretches of the Mississippi, if the bank breaks, even if the river isn't in flood, it's still going to flood hundreds of square miles of land because the level of the river has risen. So if you have it in flood time, it can cause major devastation, and it has done. There's quite a few instances of when the Mississippi has broken its banks, and it's caused some major problems in the States. And there's other places in the world that this same thing has happened. You build these banks up alongside the river, like we've done right here, but then you get silt deposited in the river, and you've got to build the banks higher, and then you build the banks higher, and you're kind of stuck in this loop. And you're trying to clear the silt out the bottom of the river it's not easy. It's really this constant fight against the river to try and keep it in place, rather than following its natural course, which is to flood. And that's what the river wants to do. The river wants to flood. It wants to spread its wings and fly. Or swim. And so, yeah, you're in this constant fight with the river to try and stop it from doing what it wants to do. And this does cause some very serious problems. Right. The I'm All Ears EU hydro power plant is producing a good 200 megawatts of power at the moment, which is absolutely fantastic. We've got a lot of water now being taken in. And if we have a look here, we've got 900, we've got 100,000 capacity of water left, and we've got about 200,000, 300,000 actually nearly, of sewage capacity left. So the sewage capacity is doing all right, but the rest of it is not doing so great. We've got a load of abandoned buildings up here at the moment, and I'm not quite sure why those have all been abandoned. We'll have to sort of work on that. It might just be little waves of flooding here and there, of course, some issues. Now this here is quite the problem. We've got the statue of Tiny Big Man right there, and we've got this gully here. We're going to need to dig this gully deeper, because eventually we're going to want a lot of water coming from this lake and going back through there. So in our next episode, I'm actually going to raise this water source still higher. But what I want to try and do before the next episode is get the 81 tiles. If I can get the 81 tiles, I'll be able to go out here a little bit further and maybe do a little bit more building out that way. I can do building out that way anyway. I can go out here like this, and I can have a look at it, and it does actually build. See, if I do that there, look, I'm building up here. So I can actually do the building up here. It doesn't hurt anything at all, right? There we go. I can build there, and then the water will just, you know, a little bit of a wave come from that one. So I can build a better flood defense wall all along there to stop the water from flooding in. I've got to be careful about the train track that runs along the side of that river. That's going to be the only other concern, but we'll deal with that. So anyway, if you've enjoyed this episode, then please head down below and give us a like. And if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. And until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.